I've walked through enough historic cities, both in the West and across the Islamic world, to develop a kind of expectation for how these places breathe. Around sacred or historic centers, there's usually a rhythm: small groceries, pharmacies, the odd hardware shop, interspersed with cafes and restaurants. In Mecca and Medina, despite the scale and modernization, you still find that balance. Even in Damascus' Old City, with all its age and history pressing in on you, daily life hasn't been completely displaced. People still live there, shop there, fix things, buy essentials. There's a sense that the city belongs to its residents first, and visitors simply pass through it. But stepping into the orbit of Hagia Sophia, especially around Sultanahmet, that balance feels almost entirely stripped away. What replaces it is something far more singular, almost obsessive: food. Streets lined wall to wall with restaurants, grills smoking, dessert counters gleaming, menus thrust forward at every few steps. It's not just the presence of eateries, it's their sheer dominance. You begin to notice the absence of everything else. You look almost instinctively for a pharmacy, a small convenience store, anything functional, and struggle to find one. It feels less like a neighborhood and more like a curated corridor designed around one human need alone: eating. The explanation starts to reveal itself the longer you stand in it. This isn't an organic reflection of how locals live, it's an ecosystem engineered for transient demand. Tourists don't need to repair a sink or pick up household items, but they will eat, repeatedly and often impulsively. Food is immediate, universal, and high margin. A restaurant can turn over dozens, even hundreds of customers in a day, each one a new opportunity. A pharmacy, by contrast, depends on occasional necessity. In a place where rent is driven by foot traffic of millions, only the highest yield businesses survive, and that almost always means food. There's also a cultural layer that complicates it. In Turkish and broader Middle Eastern tradition, offering food is synonymous with hospitality. It's how warmth is expressed. But here, that instinct has been amplified and commercialized to the point where it becomes something else entirely: less invitation, more competition. The waiters calling out, the menus waved in your direction, the gentle but persistent pressure to step inside. It all feels like hospitality stretched into performance. What struck me most wasn't just the abundance of food, but the quiet disappearance of everything ordinary. In other historic cities, you feel like you're walking through a living organism: messy, functional, real. Around Hagia Sophia, it feels curated, almost edited, as though the city has decided that in this most visible part of itself, everyday life is secondary. Here, the purpose is singular: to feed the endless greyon of people passing through. And in doing so, it loses that subtle balance that makes a place feel truly lived in.